things that they was throwing at us, I haven't dealt with it. And I felt like it was a distraction because I really wanted to talk about, some of the things we really did have to overcome within our relationship and our marriage. But infidelity wasn't one of them.
Nobody saw this coming. Because when two powerful women from completely different reality TV worlds collide, the fallout is never small. It's explosive. And this time, the silence finally broke in a way that left fans stunned. LaTisha Scott has never been the type to whisper her truth. She's built her name by standing firm, speaking boldly, and refusing to be played.
Very confused. I thought we were doing okay. I thought we were getting along. And then when I invite them to dinner, she doesn't show up. And she's like, "There's elephants in the room with you." But when I go to the elephant room, she doesn't want to tell me what the elephants are.
But what she just revealed about Shere Whitfield has taken things to another level. What started as quiet side-eye and subtle tension has now turned into full-blown confrontation, and the details coming out are leaving viewers questioning everything they thought they knew. Because according to LaTisha, the story Shere has been selling to the world may not be as clean as it looks. Behind the glam photos, the confident smile, and the polished image, there may be secrets, strategy, and decisions that don't sit right at all.
Martell Holt. I don't want her to be in a situation where it feels like, where she's being used for publicity. Earlier this year, and I gotta be honest, a family friend of mine who was on another reality show hit me up to go out on a date with him at Blaze and was like, "Oh, could you have another table open for us because we're gonna have somebody taking our pictures and videos so that they can post it and da-da-da-da," like this was something they had. And I was like, okay. But no blog really posted, only like one place posted it. But my whole point was, now that I see this similar situation, I'm like, is he doing this? Or like, is he being genuine, or is he doing the same thing that he was doing with us?
And once LaTisha started talking, she didn't stop. What nobody expected was how personal this would become, and how deep the betrayal might really go. LaTisha Scott didn't just wake up one day and decide to speak out. Her frustration had been building for a long time. For years, viewers watched her on Love and Marriage Huntsville balance marriage, motherhood, and business while dealing with non-stop pressure. She wasn't perfect, but she showed up as herself, flaws and all.
Better girl, not me.
Okay.
She built her reputation on discipline and structure. Family came first, respect mattered, and loyalty wasn't something she played about. That's why fans connected with her. They saw a woman trying to hold everything together while people around her made reckless choices. LaTisha wasn't chasing attention, she was protecting her home. Meanwhile, Shere Whitfield was already a legend in the reality TV universe. An original face of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Shere helped define what reality television looked like in its early days. She brought confidence, shade, and unforgettable moments that still get quoted today. But her journey hasn't been easy either. From turbulent relationships to public financial struggles, from the endless delays of her fashion brand to constant criticism from fans, Shere's career has always lived under a microscope. She survived by staying visible, staying talked about, staying relevant. Two strong women, two very different paths. So when their worlds suddenly crossed, the tension was inevitable.
It's a lot. Like, you plan your days and you can't stress out on the things that you don't get accomplished for that day. Like, you just have to figure out what's important. We're working it and we're gonna figure it out. I talk to my family a lot, me and my kids, my husband. And we plan out things around the household. We give tasks to everybody, so we have to work together as a unit.
The connection came through Martell Holt, a name already wrapped in controversy. His history on Love and Marriage Huntsville was messy, emotional, and painful. Infidelity shattered his marriage. Public embarrassment followed. Trust was broken in front of millions. For LaTisha, Martel's behavior wasn't gossip, it was lived experience. She watched the damage up close. She saw families hurt. She saw how choices ripple outward and destroy stability. So when word spread that Shere was romantically involved with Martel, LaTisha didn't see love. She saw red flags. At first, she stayed quiet. She observed, she listened, she waited. But what she claims to have noticed next is what pushed her to finally speak. Because according to LaTisha, Shere wasn't confused, she wasn't unaware, and she definitely wasn't innocent. LaTisha revealed that Shere knew exactly who Martel was long before cameras ever rolled. She knew the cheating history, she knew the emotional damage left behind, she knew the public embarrassment that followed his name. Yet she moved forward anyway. And that's where LaTisha's frustration turned into disbelief. Because in her mind, this wasn't about giving someone grace, it was about ignoring patterns that hurt real people. She questioned how someone could step into a situation already soaked in pain and treat it like a fresh storyline. But here's the twist. LaTisha didn't believe the relationship was about feelings at all. She suggested something far more uncomfortable. According to her, the timing felt calculated, too perfect, too convenient, right when storylines were drying up, right when attention was shifting. LaTisha hinted that Martel wasn't just a man, he was a move. And when she said that out loud, fans froze. Because now the conversation wasn't about romance anymore, it was about motive. She questioned whether Shere saw love or opportunity, and once that door opened, even more came spilling out. LaTisha then turned her attention towards Shere's long-discussed business ventures, especially the fashion brand that has followed her for years like a shadow. Delays, excuses, promises that never seemed to land. Fans had joked about it for seasons, but LaTisha wasn't laughing. She implied that the image didn't match the reality, that the confidence presented on screen wasn't lining up with what was happening behind the scenes. To LaTisha, authenticity matters. You either stand in truth or you don't, and she made it clear she wasn't buying what she felt was being sold. What made this moment hit harder was the tone. She didn't sound jealous. She didn't sound angry. She sounded disappointed. Disappointed that someone with influence would keep repeating cycles that harm others, then frame it as empowerment. Once those words hit the internet, chaos followed. Social media erupted within minutes. Some fans applauded LaTisha for saying what many had whispered for months. They praised her courage and honesty, saying she spoke from lived experience, not speculation.
Others felt she crossed a line. They argued that Shere's love life wasn't her business, that dragging her brand and character felt unnecessary. And just like that, the internet split straight down the middle. Twitter turned into a courtroom. Instagram became a battlefield. TikTok creators dissected every sentence like detectives. One clip went viral claiming this was the most strategic relationship reality TV had seen all year. Another video argued that LaTisha was projecting her own trauma onto someone else. But one thing everyone agreed on, the silence was gone, and Shere was not going to ignore it. Her first response was subtle. A confident photo, a short caption. Calm on the surface, sharp underneath. Fans immediately caught the message. She was saying she wasn't bothered. But people weren't convinced, because not long after, she addressed the situation more directly. She brushed off LaTisha's comments as clout-seeking and insisted her relationship was genuine. She made it clear she didn't need validation from anyone. She even hinted that LaTisha should focus on her own household instead of commenting on others. That's when the temperature rose. Because to many viewers, the back and forth revealed something deeper, not just conflict, but two women defending two very different versions of truth. LaTisha stood on accountability. Shere stood on independence. Neither was backing down. And the emotional impact rippled far beyond just the two of them. Families were pulled into online debates, children became part of comment sections they never asked to be in, careers were suddenly questioned, reputations felt fragile.
For LaTisha, speaking up meant risking backlash, but staying silent felt worse. She believes some patterns must be challenged, even if it costs popularity. For Shere, being judged publicly reopened wounds she spent years surviving. She's fought too hard to let another woman define her narrative. Both felt attacked. Both felt misunderstood. And that's what made this moment so heavy. Because this wasn't just reality TV drama anymore. It was about pride, about survival, about how women navigate power, love, and public judgment in spaces that rarely offer grace. Fans started asking harder questions. Is love still real on reality TV, or has it become strategy? Can you truly start fresh with someone whose past is still bleeding? And when does speaking your truth become crossing someone else's line? The situation also forced viewers to look at how fame changes behavior. Staying relevant can become a full-time job, and sometimes attention feels safer than silence. LaTisha and Shere represent two different approaches to that pressure. One confronts it head-on, the other glides through it with confidence and deflection. Neither path is easy, and neither guarantees peace. As the dust continues to swirl, fans are left watching closely. Every post, every interview, every move now feels loaded with meaning. Will this feud cool down, or is it just warming up? Will Shere double down on her choices? Will LaTisha reveal even more? Because one thing is certain, once truth and perception collide in public, there's no clean exit. This clash exposed how fragile reality TV alliances really are, how quickly admiration can turn into disappointment, and how thin the line is between empowerment and exploitation. At the heart of it all sits a painful reminder. Fame doesn't protect you from hurt, it only makes it louder. And as viewers, we're left watching two strong women stand on opposite sides of a storm, each convinced they're right, each refusing to move. So now the question isn't who started it, the real question is who will survive it? Because in a world where cameras never stop rolling, silence is no longer an option, and the truth, once spoken, never goes back in the box. And trust me, this story is far from over.